Alright, so today here I compiled what are the best, or what I think are, the best JP teams on PvP right now. These range from I face them all the time to sometimes it gives me trouble. So, yeah, and of course some, teams that me or some people that I know have come up with that actually work, but I don't see all the time on PvP because maybe they're just too difficult to build or other factors. So I want to start off, of course, with the most obvious best team, which is the one that everyone uses. I titled every team, by the way, so this is how it's gonna work. So I have the title of the team here at the top. I got myself to rebrand these teams, and I want these terms to be how people call these teams, okay? Please. So, so this is the team that everyone runs. Escanor, Liz, Gelfer, Lost Vein in the back. But I also have some alternatives that can also work. Now I know Lost Vein's here, Lost Vein's here as well. If you want to take off Lost Vein from here, put like Merlin, Deathface. I didn't put Gilfounder here, but maybe I should have. Or Gilfounder. And run Lost Vein in the front because maybe you don't have Escanor. That's also what I would say the team everyone runs because it consists mostly of Gelfer, Liz, and a DPS. That's what I would say is the team that everyone I face runs. So I think it's one of the best teams. If it's what everyone uses, it must be one of the best teams, right? So yeah, you could either be Red or Green Gopher. Of course, Green Gopher is preferable, but Red Gopher has his strengths. Attack ceiling is so good. Actually, it's so good. It's just of course, the Green Gopher passive is just overpowered, right? It's the best passive in the game. So, yes, this is the team that everyone runs. I think it is one of the best teams in the game. And you have a few options here for the back. Of course, most people run this. So, yeah. Moving on, I won't take too long with these teams. I just want to give my thoughts real quick. But of course, this one's very simple. Now, moving on, my team. I possess the rights to this team. I have the copyright shirt. No, I'm kidding. But the crit team, the epic crit team. Now, there are no other options for these three. If you want to run the core crit team, you need Gelfer, Ludocio, and Death Pierce. But here, Escanor would be your best option. But you can change that to Zeldris, Jericho, Sauriel. Sauriel, I know, doesn't work with Gopher's passive. So you could actually run Red Gopher at this point, but honestly just run Green Gophers because like the takeoff ultimate gauge from Green Gopher is so useful. You can run Sauriel even if all Green Gopher's passive and the man can still annihilate. He just needs Lucio's passive. Or Lost Vein. And this is my favorite team in the game. Like, I'm no bias here, but I think it's the best. I don't know. Could be. When I run this team, I barely lose. Actually, okay, so I was streaming the other day and asking people for, video ideas. I was stealing some video ideas from chat, and someone said that I should run this team until I lose. Make a video, no cuts. I just play with this team until I lose. And I'm hoping it doesn't last for over an hour, but I think I should do that, and I will. So yeah, this is my favorite team in the game, Le Epic Crit team, and that's very, very simple to run. Now the Drow team, this is a team that not that many people run. I barely see it, but it's the Drow wumbo combo. I will name this to Speedy. Speedy has sort of come up with the Drow plus my combo, so I will give him the name. I'm sorry, I will give him the rights to it, but I name it. It's the Drow wumbo combo. The reasoning for it is because Drow's commandment applies the resistance, and the resistance buffs help Mai because the more buffs she has, the more damage she does, but it also helps Sauriel, because Sauriel, the more resistance the enemy has, the more damage his single target does. So that's a very good combo right there. And but Gelfer for rank ups, it could be either or. If you don't have Green Gelfer, you could use Red Gelfer, and I think you could use, like, you could use someone else, but I think Gelfer just, the rank ups are so good. And you could use Green Drow instead of Blue Drow, but I believe Blue Drow is better. His taunt and petrify, if you rank Drow up, he can petrify and then use a level 2 taunt It's very good. And Death Pierce in the back could also be run Merlin if you want to ult rush with Joel and Galfer, or even Mai, I guess. Or Gilthunder if you want to tank a little bit better, but Death Pierce is preferable just for the extra damage. But yeah, the team is really good. Like, it's actually good. I think Droll is the most underrated character in the game. Like, I am offender for that, because I, especially in the beginning, very much underrate Droll, but right now, I think this is one of the best teams in the game. He's a very, very solid team. Now, one of my favorite teams again, Furukanta. Essentially Estarossa and Tarmiel. Now the third slot here, Green Gopher is preferable, but you can run either Red Gopher if you want to. Attack ceiling is very good, so you could run him. Or Goddess Liz if you want to be a cuck. I mean, Goddess Liz is actually fantastic for it because the revive is really good, shield is really good, the stun if you manage to get it with, you know, without a rank up, it's very good too. In the back, I would recommend using Gilthunder if you can. But, you know, not everyone's going to have you War Gear for Gilthunder, so Merlin is also a good option if you want to ult rush, because Tarmiel's ultimate is very, very good. But the core team is Estarossa and Tarmiel. Having these two wumbo comboing each other with the counter plus damage reduction, you have also take off ultimate gauge. If you have Gopher instead of Elizabeth, you can rank up Estarossa maybe to level 3, or Tarmiel to level 3 damage reduction. So this team works great. It's probably, I would say, the best counter to Escanor in the game currently, so it works phenomenal. There could be, maybe next week, a counter to Escanor, like, who knows. Today is Monday, so Wednesday we're getting info on the next unit coming for JP. We've had some leaks for this character, we don't really know if it's gonna be him, but like this goddess character, we don't really know if it's gonna be him. Or it could be someone else, some of the counters Escanor. We'll see. Some people are in the hopes that it's assault mode melee. I don't see it happening, but it would be very nice if it was. But for now, this is the best counter for Escanor, and I would say that qualifies it as one of the best teams in the game. Moving on, we have the Glue Eater. Please, I want this term to stick. Again, credit to Speedy, he came up with the term. I want this term to stick. And if I hate the team, but it is one of the best teams in the game. The Glue Eater, essentially, you can just use to either petrify or stun units. You know, Kingbrum used to be the Glue Eater, but we just called it Kingbrum, right? But Hellbrum is not the most relevant these days, so you just run Goddess, so this is much better. You could replace King with Jericho if you want to, if you have Jericho, but I think for the most part the best formation is with King because the ultimate is very good, and, you know, cleansing, healing is very good. You could either use Green or Red Gopher. Red Gopher, of course, has his whole thing with attack ceiling, but Green Gopher, like, because the team is sort of stally, by turn 4 or 5 your characters will be doing more damage, so that's very, very good. So yeah, that's the Glue Eater. Not much else to say, it's just, you just stun and petrify and stall for ults pretty much. Now the humans! I actually was thinking of not putting this on the list, but I couldn't just not. It works very well. Like, I tried this and it just works well. The one, you can't take him off, you're gonna have to use him if you want to use the human team. But Keo and Easton here, so I put 2 other options. This could be interchangeable, but I think for the most part you want to keep Keo. But Easton is phenomenal for boosting Escanor. If you don't have Keo though, Roxy or Lilia in the place of Keo can be very, very good. So, but I think if you're gonna run Easton, you kind of need Keo. So, yeah, if you don't have Keo, you kind of have to run, you know, Lilia and Roxy here. But, you know, the team works very well. It's a lot of DPS, especially because, you know, Keo boosting Escanor's damage, and again, if you have Easton with it, she also buffs his crit chance, crit damage, and pierce, so very, very good. And in the back, you can either use Death Pierce or Gilthunder for more tanking. Gilthunder, I'm telling you, Gilthunder is like getting more relevant now because of the whole Escanor having less chance of critting because of the crit resistance. Couldn't find the word because of the crit resistance. If you want to build your Gilthunder, I actually do recommend it. The King team. not very much to say. It's been the King team since 2 months ago, so it's just the same team. But I mean, yeah, the King team is still very good. If you asked me a month ago what was the best team in the game, I would say it was the King team. But now, not so much. Essentially, just King handy. You can't change it. That's the core of the team. But here in the front, you could use Goddess Liz. I think this is the best formation. Either use Merlin here, or if you want to take off Goddess Liz to put someone else, you could put Goddess Liz in the back. But Goddess Liz is the best. I think this is the best formation. But you could run Green Gelfer if you feel adventurous. You could run Ludociel if you can, if your Ludociel is built up. Or you could run Kyo. I didn't put Lilia here. Lilia is very good, but there's an issue that I think that these options are just better. And when... I don't know, I think that Lilia is a very good unit. She just... It's just missing an oomph, you know? I don't know how to really explain that. You could run her, the red Lilia, but I think that these 4 characters, right, are just better. So I chose not to put her in here, but you could run her, I guess. But yeah, this is the best formation. Like, Liz complements the team very well because of the shield and everything like that, so that would be the best formation possible for the King team. Now, Pen, I chose to put in the list the Pierce team. Although it's not the most relevant anymore, I don't know, Pen or Pierce was getting relevancy again like a few months ago, like 2 months ago, and then just dropped. No one runs Pierce anymore. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I genuinely don't know why, but I think, you know, if you catch these Escanors off guard, the Rugal damage could be very impactful. The 4th unit is always confusing, right, on the Pierce team, because there's not much to complement to the team. Merlin, the alt is not just going. You know, you're not ult rushing with the team, right? So there's no point using Green Merlin in the back. So Red Skinny King, I guess, is the best option. I don't know. I put Goddess Liz there as a sub as well. You could run Death Pierce, although the only person taking advantage of it really is Meliodas, because Rugal barely crits, so I didn't even put him in there. So it could use Gilthunder, I guess. Oh, I should have put Gilthunder. That's my bad. Forgot about Gilthunder there. Well, I don't know how, because I'm really thinking Gilthunder is great right now. But I don't know. The Pierce team is very good. I would say he's one of the best teams in the game still. It's just very oddly underused. And to end it, there's only one more team here. There are other teams I thought of putting this list, but I didn't, and I'll explain why after the next one. The Archangels. The Archangel team is very good, actually. You just slap the 3 Archangels, it just works, because you have Ludociel is a phenomenal, you know, defense lower. His DPS is very good. Sariel DPS is insane. Tarmiel complements the team being support. And then you have either, you know, Goddess Liz here, Death Pierce, Gilthunder, or you can run Skinny King, really, if you really want, for the takeoff Pierce on the enemy team. But I would say it's not the greatest, but it's a team that definitely works, and it's a fun team. Now, there are other teams I thought of putting. Mainly, I was thinking of also adding to the list the Green DN team, but really, it's not a team. You just run her with whatever team you want, and she could counter Escanor, but that's why they make like a team for her. But you definitely can just run Green DN, or Green, you know, I'm talking about the Green Small DN, in like an Ultra team, I guess. You could run her in the team everyone uses, just take off, I don't know, Goddess Liz, or take off Gelfer. Like, you can just complement any team with Green Small DN, and she just helps the team by countering Escanor, pretty much. That's why I didn't make a team for her, but she's definitely a very good unit, and she can complement all of these teams. And I didn't make a team for Valenti either, because she just gets cocked. Like, the thing is, right? You would think that with the meta being so predominant for a blue DPS unit, Valenti would be amazing. But Escanor shits on Valenti. He absolutely obliterates her. So I couldn't put her. I just couldn't. So that's the end. These are my top picks for the best teams on PvP GP right now. Let me know if there's any team you think I missed. And yeah, that's about it.